Hello, my name is Kelly Ferguson, and today I'm going to talk to you about how to make workplace emails accessible for all employees and associates. Typically, in larger corporations and organizations, corporate emails can be quite lengthy, and Pollfish conducted a survey and found that 60.8% of associates ignore work related emails. That doesn't even factor in that 16% of adults in the United States have a difficulty with reading and comprehension, and 9% of the entire population has a learning disability. Dyslexia, ADHD, and general processing disorders are the three most common disorders and disabilities that affect reading comprehension. I'm sure we all know someone, at least one person, who has one of these disorders or disabilities. The following guide can not only support users who have varying disabilities and abilities, but also make the email more engaging so that more associates will read them. That is, after all, the whole reason we write them. So here's how to make a really accessible and very engaging email for all of your employees and associates. You first want to use font styles that have well-spaced and clearly defined letters. Sans serif fonts are generally recommended because they meet most of these recommendations. Or they meet all of the recommendations, I apologize. Examples of these include Arial, Helvetica, and Geneva. There are thousands of sans serif fonts available, and it just depends on what kind of program you're using to determine what fonts are available. Google is your best friend there. You want to avoid using italics as the letters are more challenging to decipher. Instead, you want to use bold type, underline, and headlines to emphasize words and ideas. In addition to that, you want to use this distinct paragraph spacing, line spacing, and bullet points and numbering systems to break up ideas and make the information more visually appealing. Personally, I like to use 1.5 line spacing to really break up the monotony when the lines can kind of run together and look really condensed. This also makes the email more interesting and engaging, which, is kind of a twofer in this situation. You want to be specific and to the point. We talked a little bit about this in prior modules, and it's important whenever you're creating content that you want to be specific and to the point. It's very important in emails as well. People with ADHD specifically are unable to remain engaged in long emails due to their brain's constant need for change and inability to focus for long periods of time. So being specific and getting to the point is really important for a lot of people and will help the reader get through the entire email without getting distracted. What's the point, again, of creating content and writing an email and sending it out to thousands of people if no one can read the entire thing? There's no point. So next time you receive a corporate email, take a second to consider how your company can improve its accessibility amongst its associates. Is it accessible? How can it be more accessible? Maybe write HR an email or send an email to your diversity and inclusion program manager. These ways to improve accessibility is really important, especially now that most companies are driving force with diversity and inclusion. So give it a try, see what happens, and let me know what you think. Kelly Ferguson, and that is how to make your workplace email more accessible.